Hey, good morning everybody. I'll show you how I brew in this cool new ceramic mug that I got. Some people were asking about it. So yeah, it's got an insert. It's actually designed for tea, I think, for loose leaf tea, but also works for making coffee, which is cool. It holds about 8 ounces, less than 8 if you fill it up only to the bottom of the strainer. But I'll show you here in just a second what I do. So I've preheated this with some hot water, so it's already warm, and I would suggest doing that. So take out the strainer. Make sure you can see what I'm doing here. Got my scale. So for me, 8 ounces of coffee, that's about 15 or 16 grams of coffee that you want. I'm gonna tear that to 0. Scale. And I've already ground this coffee upstairs on my grinder. So just gonna make sure it's at 16 grams. A little more than that. Now with this little mesh strainer, it's a metal screen, so you want to grind the coffee a little bit finer, or coarser, I'm sorry. A little more coarse, kind of like you would for a Chemex. It's chunky, kind of like sea salt. You can see that. It's a little bit chunky, otherwise you're going to end up with a lot of sediment and coffee, kind of mud and sludge going through that screen. So now I just add about 20 grams, 30 grams of water to just let that kind of bloom a little bit. And just keep adding water till you basically fill up the brew basket. We're gonna let that drain down a little bit. And keep going until I hit about 220 grams of water. This coffee was a gift from a friend. Thank you so much. From a roaster in Boise, Idaho. Really appreciate that. Came with a mug as well. This awesome mug was a gift from my sister-in-law and my brother. And I love it. Love the design, love that wood handle. It's one of those mugs that feels great in the hands as you're enjoying a cup of coffee. So that's drained down a little bit. I like to pour in just kind of a circular motion to evenly saturate the coffee as I'm brewing. Now we'll get to a point where the level inside that mug comes up to the base of the strainer, and at that point I'll actually lift this up a little bit. This also allows some airflow. I do want to make sure I still add the proper amount of water, so I leave that on the scale. Shoot for 220. There we go, 220 grams. I'll let that sit for a little bit because the coffee is pretty coarse. You know, you're probably going for about a 3 to 4 minute brew extraction time on this, but that is how this little guy works. And it's even got a nice little lid, so you can retain the heat in that, keep it warm a little bit longer. And just take that off to, you know, enjoy a sip. And there you go, beautiful little mug. That's how I use it. You can find these online. Just search ceramic. Search ceramic mug, wood handle, maybe even tea strainer to find it, but it should pop up in a few places for you. Hey, there you go. That's my first cup of coffee in 2022. I hope you have a great year, and see you around.